Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash the like button the way that female high school teachers smash their students, so this video reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number 1, Rebecca wonders why no one is talking about the female loneliness epidemic. And someone shows a picture of SpongeBob wearing the easiest to escape handcuffs in the world. There is no female loneliness epidemic. They can all get friend-zoned simps they can talk to. That is until they get into middle age and suddenly those guys disappear. Women get lonelier with age, and men just want to be left alone as we get older. The only solution for many women is to get married young and stay married. Up next, new photos have surfaced of Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau as a kissing couple here on a yacht off the coast of Santa Barbara. Orlando Bloom is either pissed off or a complete simp. Actually, they broke up in July, but I'm not sure I'm buying this. This could also be a gay male staging for the world that he's actually straight, by taking a photo on top of a yacht for everyone to see. But from these photos, he looks more natural kissing and hugging another man. Number 3, this UK student sold her V card to a Hollywood actor for £1.8 million. Yeah, I'm not buying it. This is probably just promotion for an OF page or her services as a working girl. Plus the story is just bait to get people to click on it and see ads when they read the story, and see which Hollywood star paid her. And she's probably going to say she can't tell you which one because it would violate his privacy. Also, I don't believe for an instant that she made it to 22 as a virgin. They rarely do. Moving on, look at this one saying that everyone's a feminist until a terrible man is attractive. Actually, every woman's a feminist until an attractive man shows them attention. Also, this one is one of the better looking ones out there without a ridiculous nose ring and purple hair. But still no Chad would ever want to commit to her. Isn't it wild how the biggest feminists, no pun intended, turn submissive and feminine once the right man approaches them? It's when he doesn't commit that they go crazy. Number 15, here's Thomas, and he's upset because he doesn't want any services from the government, yet is still forced to pay 40% of his income to them. Remember that taxing you is to prevent you from becoming wealthy enough to compete with the wealthy elites for the assets they want to buy. And you probably wish it was only 40%. That's what they take up front. Don't forget all the carbon taxes if you're in Canada and all the VAT taxes and other hidden fees. Up next, this morbidly obese girl says that the boys at her school must be fat-phobic, otherwise, how is she still single? Someone gets back to her and says to ignore the haters and to keep both of her chins held high. I also think she should ignore all the negative comments because she's bigger than that. I would compliment her and tell her that they just aren't man enough to handle the full you and that you shouldn't lose any weight. You're perfect the way that you are, while watching her sink into greater misery and anger. Number 7, here's a chart that shows you just how over Western Europe is, with the percentages of populations in each country willing to fight for their country. What really surprises me is Scandinavia. Their numbers are so high even though they're welcoming in crazy amounts of enrichment. Then again, why would the people in the West fight for their own countries when they're run by globalists? Most people choose to fight for their own people and not their country. Moving on, remember everyone that only men can understand this. This is what a man going his own way level 5 looks like. He wants not only peace from women, but from society in general. As men get older, we try and get away from everyone and everything, and women as they get older try and get in everyone's face. The woods are nature's buffer against the Negasaurus trying to ruin your day by telling you what to do and criticizing you. If you're an introverted man, you want this even more. Number 9, in Europe, remember, there are 50 million Muslims, and 40 million of whom receive social benefits. I say bring more and more of them in and have the social welfare state collapse. They're clearly a net negative for Europe, and at some point Europeans will have to do what America does and create its own version of ICE to go after the illegal ones. Most will go home, though, or turn to crime once the social welfare runs out. That's when they'll stop coming, when there are no more free goodies. Up next, Akon's wife of 29 years demanded £100 million in divorce, but the court found only 10 grand in his bank accounts. The rest of his wealth is sitting comfortably in his mother's accounts. Also, look at the suffering on his face and look at the way she's eating up all the attention in her outfit, which looks like something straight out of Hunger Games. More and more men are learning how to protect themselves with regards to finances. Akraf Hakimi did the same thing with his mother in his divorce. Number 11, is it possible to fix the fertility rates if we bring back knee-high and thigh-high socks? Unfortunately, I think it's too late for that. I can get a dopamine fix from corn on my phone at any time. Why would I want to have to deal with the attitude that comes with those socks? Plus, most women use birth control, and so long as that exists, We will never be above replacement fertility levels unless we use technology. Besides, most women these days aren't this skinny. Moving on, imagine my shock that new research shows that female video game players prefer playing as highly sexualized characters, but at the same time they don't like them. Of course not. They want the attention in the game, but at the same time, they don't want men to look at hot avatars because they fear it takes women's attention away in the real world. If it were up to men, hell, many of us would actually give Mario a pair of chesticles. Number 13, this is the current Democrat candidate for Virginia governor, and she's leading in the polls. Looks like she didn't get the memo that COVID was over. Imagine if the power on that filtering device went out and she couldn't get it off in time. I thought this was a current picture, which would have made it funny. But she wore this on January 6th at the request of the Capitol Police. They wore this to be safe, yet at the same time they told you to wear a simple mask that didn't actually work in order to buy groceries. Up next, this 36-year-old man in Canada received treatment for brain swelling over 4 days in a hospital hallway due to overcapacity. It's crazy because my father's been in the hospital for 5 days now waiting for an angiogram, because there's a wait list. At this point, I'm just considering going to the United States to get tests in the future and pay for them, especially if it's something more serious. Otherwise, they might crack open my brain in a hallway. Number 15, Cornhub is now blocked in Arizona as well as these other states. Tradcucks think they're winning, but all it takes is a VPN to get around this. The reason states are doing this is not because they're trying to promote conservative values, but because they want to spy on their citizens by getting them to give up their ideas to watch the hub. Between this, AI search engines, and social media, they're profiling us so they can use the data to manipulate us later. Up next, on second thought, I think that Trudeau is actually really with Katy Perry after all, because she looks like a boy. In the end, it's a good thing that Trudeau is leeching off of her now instead of the Canadian taxpayer. As for Katy, she kissed a girl and she liked it. Trudeau lucked out and got a crack at Russell Brand's sloppy seconds. But I think we should cut him a break because after all, he's dating a bona fide astronaut here. She's probably also his sugar mama. Number 17, doctors like this are mocking patients when they start asking about the root cause of diseases instead of just taking the pills. They gaslight patients and make us think they were crazy. Whenever I talk about my medical issues being diminished by controlling my inflammation through diet and stress control, doctors look at me like I'm crazy. They don't always care about your health. They care about the money they make from the drug companies. Moving on, what would you rather do? Get paid $100 every time you goon, or $1 million to never perform self-love ever again? I'd take the $1 million and get a 20% annual return on it and hire 2 or 3 working girls each to service me. Unfortunately, most guys wouldn't think it through and would end up looking like this guy very shortly. Dude needs to use his left hand as well so he can even out his physique. Also, gooning once a day gives you only $36,500 a year. Number 19, this is quite the impressive before and after picture. Looks like she managed to get rid of all of her baby fats. As their weight goes down, their expectations in men goes up. Ever so slightly, of course, because even at her fattest, she still wanted the best men. She lost all that weight in only 8 or 9 months and is now going to an engagement farm for the hell of it. She's already got 20 million views on this post alone. Women in the past never would have imagined getting that much attention in their entire lives. Up next, Ada says that she speaks for all European women when she says that women no longer feel safe in the streets, and then men should step up and protect them. Women voted for pro-migrant policies and now they expect men to defend them from the world that they wanted. But I think this is a shit test and the only way to pass it is not to give them the vote in the first place. By men protecting them, they mean white males. Why don't they ask Abdul or Mohammed to protect them instead? Number 21, here's one of the only cases where it's alright for a man to protect a female. Taylor Morrison was in the back roads of Colorado because his GPS had died. He found and saved a 6-year-old girl as a result. The search for her had also been called off. Sometimes when we think that we're lost, we actually aren't. It's a wonderful story, but guys, remember to not trust everything you read or hear on the internet. It's a made-up story and that AI picture is designed to trick boomers. Moving on, this woman says that she's ugly and hates herself, but she just wants love. And her only standard in men is that he actually be one. I know what many of you guys are thinking. I can fix her teeth. This is probably another AI-generated image as clickbait designed to humiliate simps. Even if she did exist and you actually fixed her, she wouldn't be grateful after a couple of years. Hell, she'd probably leave you for another guy. She would also nag you and treat you poorly the way that any woman would. It's just not worth it. Just get a doll. Number 23, here's another AI slop story with this so-called single mother of 5 with monthly expenses worth 100K. Yeah, who really believes it takes 1.2 million a year to raise half a dozen people? Especially with a fat mother covered in tattoos and with that nose ring. This once again is probably just simp bait. Is she feeding those kids or funding NASA? Even if she did exist, here's a group photo of the people who actually care about her problems. Up next, after being banned from OF, Bonnie Blue has to find new ways to make money and get attention. So here she is saying that she doesn't want to bonk illegal immigrants. Then again, she needs to understand that illegal migrants don't usually give you a choice if you want to bonk or not. Base Bonnie Blue was not on my 2025 bingo card. Then again, listening to her stand her own ground with Andrew Tate proved to me that she's pretty intelligent. Then again, maybe she's just preparing to come out as a born-again Christian. Number 25 and the last one, what happened to Hilary Duff? She looks like she got buff. For me, that's the perfect female body on the right, even though it's obviously AI generated. And she's never going to look this good. I hope to one day make a lover bot that actually looks exactly the way that does, with a different face. Here's what she really looks like. She looks like she's in the early stages of turning into an Olsen twin all covered up. But here she is uncovered. I guess I spoke way too soon. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to keep making it, then donate it to PayPal and Subscribestar links. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.